Hello, Tikifire here, and I'm not really doing a toy review. This is a video response to Victoria's Cantina. And Victoria's Cantina is a great channel. If you've never been to her channel, please do go check her out. She just recently went over 1,000 subscribers, and she's running a contest. So I thought I'd get in on it by doing a video response. And she asked a couple of questions. I believe her first question was, how did you start collecting? And I will tell you, I've been collecting since I was a child. I really probably started collecting stuff with the Star Wars action figures back in the day. And one interesting thing is, this is my original Millennium Falcon, which is why I'm showing it in this video. I do have a few of my original Star Wars toys. Now this one I did restore about 1.5 years ago. I watched a good video by Retroblasting about how to restore this, and if you've never seen Retroblasting, I've referenced them before in my videos. Those guys are awesome over there. They're really cool folks, and they do some really great restorations of old toys, especially Star Wars toys, but they've done recent restorations of other stuff too. And they showed in one of their older videos now how to restore the Millennium Falcon. So my dad brought me my old Millennium Falcon, and there wasn't much left of it, and it was really awful. It had like rat droppings and just, it was awful. It was really disgusting. But what I did, I followed their instructions and restored it to what you see here now, which is in pretty good shape for a almost 40-year-old toy. So pretty darn cool. And really, I've been collecting since Star Wars figures originally came out, I would say. Although I did collect some $6 Million Man stuff, which I still have, and I need to actually do a review on, so which I probably will get around to at some point. But yeah, so this is my original Millennium Falcon. I did go through a little period back in the early aughts when eBay was really popular, and I sold off some of my old Star Wars figures, and I've regretted that ever since. Really wish I hadn't done that, and I wish I still had them. But I've since rebuilt the collection, and this is probably prize of my collection. This sits next to my restored Death Star playset, and this thing is, it's about 75% original. I do have some of the other pieces that aren't original, I mean that were my originals that I just haven't gotten around to restoring yet, which I probably will do at some point. But this thing, I think it looks great to be as old as it is, and I've been collecting something ever since. Even when I got older, in my late teens, and quit collecting toys, even then I was collecting comic books and movies and music and things like that. You know, I started with old cassette tapes and moved up to CDs, and eventually started buying like albums at thrift stores and things like that. I collected comics all the way up until I was in my early adulthood in the 90s. And I went through a period where I really wasn't collecting anything there in the 90s. And then back in the early 2000s, I started collecting stuff again. And pretty much have been collecting things ever since. You know, with small down times where I just didn't have the money or I didn't have the time or whatever. And in recent years, I've recollected some Star Wars stuff. Like, for instance, I bought the big Millennium Falcon. Love that thing. It's awesome. And so I've bought a few pieces like that. The big AT-AT that came out a few years ago, or AT-AT, depending on how you want to call it and how you want to say it. But this thing still has a place in my heart because it's my original for the most part. And really cool to have this and have it restored. And thanks again to those guys at Retroblasting. And now, what do I want to do in the future with my collecting? I want to keep collecting things that I like and that I enjoy and things that are fun to me. Recently, I've been collecting Marvel Legends figures, and those things are a lot of fun, especially the Build-A-Figure pieces where you get a piece with each figure and you piece together another figure. I mean, that's kind of cool. Yeah, it's a way for them to sell. I realize it's a marketing ploy. It's a way for them to sell maybe less popular characters and that sort of thing. And I get it, but at the same time, it's kind of cool. And they've come out with some really great sculpts Hasbro has on some of the Marvel characters of late. So very cool. And that's what I'm looking forward to in the future, is collecting more of that type of stuff, and possibly collecting some more Star Wars stuff if they would quit increasing the prices and making them kind of ridiculous, which they have recently. So that's another complaint for another day. So there you go, Victoria. Hope you enjoy this little video explaining some of my collecting, and hope I answered your questions well. And thanks.